Hey everybody, Daniel Rubino here with Windows Phone Central. Once again, I'm going to give you some more information here on the Lumia 1020. So I've been spending all day with this device. I took it to the city, been playing around with it, using it as a camera. And so these are sort of my initial thoughts of it. So far, honestly, I really like it. It is a subtle improvement over the 920 in terms of form factor. So if you really like the 920, its design and the way it feels, they've improved a lot of that, I think, on the 1020 for the better. I mean, by that, I mean the buttons. They just feel more springy and responsive. I'm not a fan of the shutter button. I mean, I use it to turn on the camera, but I rarely use it to take photos. But on the 1020, I find myself using it quite frequently to actually do the half focus and snap the picture. And that's a little bit of a change for me. But I actually like using it with this and the Pro camera for some reason. It just sort of feels a little bit more natural. Speaking of, I have been using the grip and it works perfectly. That was like an initial error if you saw in the last video I had. I also have on the back here right now the wireless charging plate. So I mentioned about this in the unboxing vid. I managed to pick one up in the meantime. So those are the contacts, and you can see those. It goes right there, and this has the whole Qi wireless, and then just slides and pops in. It's actually a really nice case. Interestingly, it kind of fills in the gap there for that bump on the back, and so it doesn't make the camera protrude as much. Does it add a little bit of girth? Sure it does, yeah. Does it feel bad? No, I think a lot of you guys who really like the Qi wireless charging will be actually really happy with it. Not only does it feel good, but it protects the ends of the device here. And I've had quite a few Nokias in the past, and these corners always sort of are the first to get knocked around. And so this helps add protection. I kind of wish it went a little bit lower and cover the actual edge, but this is still better than nothing. And I actually feel a little bit better with that protection on there, carrying it around. And as you can see as well, I installed the lanyard, which comes with a 1020 out of the box, which is kind of cool. So you just slide it through the loop right there. Overall, though, I've been having, like I said, a really good time with this. Let's go into the camera. So this is going to be kind of hard to see here, but I'll go into settings. Now, I did have the camera crash on me once. It was the first time I went into settings. That was interesting. But it hasn't happened since, so chalk that up to some initial bug. Now, what makes this interesting, and it doesn't surprise me, because GDR2 and what the 1020 is, represents a new area for Microsoft and Nokia as far as opening up. So the camera thing has got a lot of new stuff in it, and that's what I'm going to show you here. Under settings, you can see for pictures, there's a lot more things here, things that I like as a photographer. For instance, framing grids. Check this out. You have rule of thirds, golden ratio, crosshair, or square. If you're a photographer, you're just like thinking right now how awesome that is, and I agree. I'm a big fan of rule of thirds myself. Of course, you have your aspect ratio, not a big deal. Here is your capture mode, JPEG, in the different sizes. Of course, you can do the 38 if you really want, or you could just do the 5. Kind of curious about the use of JPEG there. You're wondering if Nokia maybe in the future might bring down RAW. I don't know. That's the only reason I can think they would distinguish actually saying JPEG, but maybe that's just me. Detect faces is on, so that's a cool feature. Then you have your location settings and find Nokia camera, Nokia Pro camera photos, which is pretty good. So you can actually just go into that and see what you took. Same thing if you go into video, you also have framing grids there as well. It defaults to the 1080p 30 frames per second, which is a nice change. On most Windows Phone 8 devices I've handled, they always default at 720, which is kind of silly. Meanwhile, this one goes to 1080, which is good. And look at this, you even have an audio bass filter, default or strong. I'm not 100% sure exactly what that's going to do, but well, I guess it increases bass for the audio. But as far as the real world effect, I'm not sure how much it will make a difference. Overall, though, the camera itself has been really outstanding. I mean, you have to see it in person, but the pictures just come out so much more sharp and vibrant. In fact, I mean, I'll bring up a couple here, and you can of course head to Windows Phone Central to actually see these photos, hopefully like in real size. But I mean, they just look great in my opinion. This flower I just took out in the backyard, and it is just like, the detail on it is crazy. I mean, it's not going to, like, if you have a DSLR, it still doesn't compare, but it's like a really good point and shoot. I mean, I've never shot this well on a mobile device, and that's really all you need to know. It's a pretty exciting experience. I like it with the G Wireless charging backplate here, and I recommend you get it, although I'll probably get yellow, because black is a little, well, you gotta admit, it does kind of give it a cool looking effect. You got black on one side, yellow on the other, which is kind of nice. But there we go, Nokia Lumia 1020, my first thoughts on it. I'm very happy with it. The device feels great in the hand. The matte yellow, the matte white and black as well will go, I think, a long way in keeping it from slipping out of people's hands, and it was a good choice by Nokia here, as well as, you know, the slightly curved screen. Just really good design choices, just subtle little tiny improvements, and not many complaints so far. But there you go. Take care, everybody.